Okay, so the battle is on. John, Robert, we're gonna start the day like this. Look at these two. This is Jaws. If you don't watch Jaws' channel, this is Jaws' neighbor, Robert, and they like to get together and battle as often as possible, so this is what goes on for about 20 minutes at a time.
Couch Royale.
Alright, hello my friends. How was that for a good start to your day? How can you not have a great day after seeing those two battle it out? Well, yesterday was the Rolling Stones concert. What did you think of that? I mean, for 70-year-old guys, they pretty well rocked. I didn't know, like when we got the seats, we didn't realize that they had actually had a big chunk of the seats in front of us completely closed off, because if you notice in the footage, there were like tents that they had, and the tents were would have blocked all the seating and everything. So I just decided, since the Stones were making such a great like visual experience on the like jumbotrons, I just kind of figured as long as I filmed that and could get them in the bottom of the screen, I thought that would be a cool way to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Well, what I want to do today is, while we were in New York City, someone had a birthday, and I don't want to let it go by unacknowledged, even though I'm late on it. We're going to go out and visit them, and yeah, that was kind of the reason we went to New York City in a weird way. So let's go. Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. We're heading all the way over to pretty close to the 405 near the airport. Now, I admittedly don't come out here very often. She was cool with that, and it took me quite a while before I was comfortable going to my dad's grave as well, so it's been a little while since we've been here, probably about a year. And to be honest, she told me when she was alive, you can come visit me, but I don't want you to come visit me very often. I don't want you to remember me this way. And like she said, I'll be easy to find. My parents wanted to be buried right next to Al Jolson, so that's where I'll be too. So that's of course Al Jolson's grave right there. See, there's the statue of Al Jolson. Out of respect, I always stop and say hi to your parents first, Shelley. Especially because I was just in Brooklyn, and I know that it's where your father got railroaded, unfortunately. They accused her father. Her father's business was an alteration business that one night caught on fire, and they accused him of setting the fire himself, arson, and put him in jail. And he was in jail for, I think Shelley told me, like close to 2 years. And she said when he came out, he was never the same. He could never sleep a whole night through. He would have night terrors and everything, and it's really sad. When she eventually moved her parents out here to Hollywood, when she started making it, the apartment building they all lived in together, Cy DeVore, the tailor, lived in there, and her father and Cy became good friends, and so her father ended up going and working for Cy DeVore. Well, Shelley, good to see you. You're probably sitting here going, where were you on my birthday? I would have liked to have seen you on my birthday, especially because the very first year I met you, you called me on my birthday at work and asked if I was coming over to visit you, and you pretended to not know it was my birthday, and then when I came over, you had presents and books and stuff inscribed to me, but nope, I didn't forget your birthday. In fact, about 2 months ago, I was kind of thinking, hey, what can I do special for her birthday? Maybe go to St. Louis and find where her childhood home was, but no, I decided I was going to go back to your old stomping grounds in New York City. So for your birthday, I was actually walking around Manhattan. I went by your old place. I couldn't remember whether you said you lived at the Dakota or if you lived across the street, and then when I saw the Majestic across the street, I remembered that's where you said you lived. So I went to the Actors Studio, I went to Sardi's. Now you're gonna be angry about this, and you have every right to be, but when I went to Sardi's, I said, hey, can I go look at Shelley Winter's photo? and they said actually it's on the 2nd floor and we have a party up there, so you'll have to come back. So I came back about 4 hours later and went up there and looked, and I couldn't find your picture. I couldn't find your caricature. So I got everybody in the restaurant looking, and they thought it was on the 4th floor. We went and looked everywhere and we never did find it. They said that they had recently reshuffled some photos and they thought maybe you had been put back on the 1st floor, and I said, you wouldn't have taken her down, would you? And they said, no, 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 we definitely wouldn't have. And I said, well, good, because she talks about you constantly in her book, so, you know, she loved this place, and this is the reason I'm here. So I went to some of your old stomping grounds. I even saw, when I walked around, I saw that Oklahoma was playing, and that made me think of you, because I know you got your start in Oklahoma there on Broadway. So yeah, it was a pretty cool trip, and in a interesting bit of irony, part of it all kind of like came together in a perfect way, Shelley, because you always wanted me to do something using my personality, and you always told me that it didn't matter how old I got, that I would have charisma and look good as an older man and everything. So I never worry about that kind of stuff, and I just go and have fun. And when I was mentioning to, believe it or not, I'm friends with members of KISS. I mentioned to the drummer of KISS that I was thinking of going to New York City, and I wanted to do it during your birthday. And I also wanted to go check out the guitar exhibit at the Met. And he said, well, if you come, I'll introduce you to the guy who Robert De Niro kind of based his character in The King of Comedy on. And I said, awesome. And he said, and you can come to the KISS show in Brooklyn. So I actually got to go see your area of Brooklyn where you grew up. And I went and saw the Ebbets Field flagpole. I know you were a huge Brooklyn Dodger fan, so I thought that was really cool. But what was interesting was that, Shelley, when I met the guy who Bobby based his career off of, I told him, I said, are you still friends with him? Do you still talk to him? He said, oh yeah, we're still great friends. And I said, do you think if I came back, do you think maybe there's a possibility if Bobby's not busy that I could meet him? I said, because he got his start with Shelley Winters. And I know, you know, because I knew you had told me that in 1970 you put him in his first play, and it was your play that you wrote and that you were directing, and it was called One Night Stands of a Noisy Passenger. And when I told Vinny that, he goes, oh my God, Shelley Winters is one of the only celebrities I always wanted to meet and didn't get their autograph. So I told him I had one autograph that you gave me that you didn't personalize to me, so I'm gonna give that to Vinny, and hopefully I'll get to meet Bobby and kind of find out more about what you were like in the 70s. And yeah, I just thought it was kind of an interesting way that everything tied together. You always had so much faith in me and so much belief in things I was gonna do in life, even when I didn't. It's kind of cool to see how things have unfolded in the last, you know, probably since I was here last, Shelley. I went to Rome, so I've been to Italy and Naples and Capri. How you always told me I had to go to Italy someday. And I've been to Graceland, your friend Elvis's house, and I've even been to Auschwitz, which I know you would be saying, why on earth would you want to go there? Because it was such a horrible topic to ever bring up around you because your parents were in concentration camps. But I don't know, Shelley, I just really wanted to see it. I wanted to experience what it was like, and I don't know, make people that were watching these kind of remember how bad it was. So I know in that way that you would understand. And that's, surprisingly, Shelley, I think that's actually how I ended up getting to go and do some of the stuff with KISS I'm doing, is that Gene Simmons saw that Auschwitz video, and he liked the way I filmed it. His mother was in Auschwitz, and he approved me to get to come and do all this stuff. So just kind of interesting the path that life's taking for me in the last 3 years since I started doing this, when, you know, you always wanted me to be on camera and be an actor and everything, but man, I just, you know, even with what they claimed was a good agent, I never got to audition. And even when I did, the agents would, or the people auditioning me would say, I can't believe I've never seen your photo. I can't believe it's never been submitted here. So it's kind of cool. It all worked out. I often wonder what you would think of this, because it's not acting per se, but it is me getting to be myself and walking around the camera. I just wonder what you would think of that, or if you would say like, oh, that's not, I don't know, who knows. I'm sure you'd like it. I think you'd definitely be shocked by it, because I remember I was the one that brought you your first DVD player. Do you remember that? I bought you a DVD player, and The Diary of Anne Frank and Behave Yourself. And I brought them over to you, and I remember when I walked in, you said, I can't believe that they let people own movies now. Back in my day, that, you know, if you would get arrested for owning a movie. And now they, you know, they can, and you also didn't like it, did you? Because you said that you felt like the people that made those movies, the actors, weren't being fairly compensated for it. And you're totally right. Now people are arguing that now, so. Yeah, you knew. I couldn't help when I was walking around Manhattan just thinking about, like, because when I was in Sardi's, for one thing, they didn't have the milkshakes and tuna fish sandwiches like you used to get. It was much more high-end than I expected. It was almost $27 for an entree, Shelley, and I was sitting here thinking, how did she eat here every night if it cost that much? And then I realized you were performing every night on Broadway, so you had the money for it. But I'd walk around and I just think, oh yeah, this is the town where she went and auditioned for the open casting call to try and be Scarlett O'Hara when she was 14, and where you organized the employees to go on strike at Woolworths. And I mean, yeah, it was nice to see your area, so I hope you'll forgive that I wasn't here for your birthday, but it was well-meaning to go pay homage to you in the city that you loved. And I think everybody had a whole big appreciation for it after getting to see it, and we definitely mentioned you a lot. And like I said, we went to the Actors Studio in Sardi's. I hope you got to see that. So, you know, I know you're supposed to bring coins and things like that out, but I thought you'd get a kick out of this, Shelley, because of you, all the cool things I get to do. Instead of bringing you a coin, I brought you a Kiss guitar pick from the Brooklyn concert. Since your roots were in Brooklyn, I thought you'd get a big kick out of this and how my life has gotten to involve this kind of stuff, so that's for you. I'm noticing you have some stones here that have been like kind of moved off to the side, so I'm gonna fix those for you. And I'll leave €1 for both of your parents as well, Shelley. And you got your wish, Shelley. You and your parents are both resting next to Al Jolson. What a beautiful memorial. Here's a Jewish war memorial for veterans. Well, Shelley, I think we're gonna head out of here for the day. Till next time, happy birthday. Keeping families together. I was out driving around neighborhoods looking to see if I could find anything interesting, and I found this. What do you think? Pretty beautiful. That is incredible. Alright, my friends, we're gonna call it a night. I hope you enjoyed going out and visiting Shelley with me. I think it's probably been about a year since I was there last. I didn't vlog it last time. I was out, I vlogged something else out that direction and just stopped off and had a personal moment, but I do it about once a year, so yeah, it was nice to visit her, and it was nice to go see her old stomping grounds in New York. I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. When I call it a night, I want to thank Jackie Isa, the Zoltans, and Bear Davis for becoming my newest Patreons. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good night and goodbye.